sometimes whenever you look at your life and you look at what's going on and what could be, going in a better way, I think it's hard to sometimes be thankful for the miracle that you are currently in. Whenever you follow God and you trust Him with your life, there's always a bright future. And you may not really see it right now, but I promise there is always a bright future with God. Hi everyone, it's Abby, also known as the Girl After God. Welcome back to my channel where I help you answer the question, what would your life look like if you ran after God? Today's topic is, girl, let's study the Bible. I know for me, sometimes I'll read the Bible and after I read it, it's like crickets. It's like, what did I just read? And what does it mean? So I wanted to kind of do some research and study some Bible study methods that really worked, that I could understand what I'm reading and how I can apply it to my life. So I came across 2 Bible study methods that I want to share with you that have been amazing in my life and have really helped me understand what I'm reading and how I can apply it to my life. So reading the Bible is a really important step in your journey with God. I recently came across a verse that really put into perspective how important reading the Bible is, and really just revealing that everything that we need is written in the Bible. Let's take a look at the verse. So this verse is 2 Timothy 3:16 through 17. Every part of Scripture is God-breathed and useful one way or another, showing us truth, exposing our rebellion, correcting our mistakes, and training us to live God's way. Through the Word, we are put together and shaped up for the tasks God has for us. Whoa, that right there is the truth. Whenever it said exposing our rebellion, I was like, I don't really want to read about that, but it's so true. Reading the Bible sometimes can be like, oh my gosh, do we have to talk about this? But it's so important to look at the Bible and really see, maybe look at our lives and say, maybe I need to change this. But the great thing about the Bible is it shows us how to change and how to really do those things, have a closer relationship with God and live a life that is amazing. And another thing too is that, sometimes whenever we feel we're supposed to do something for God, the Bible is going to tell us how to do it. And I think that's so amazing. It's kind of like a really big handbook for life. Now, sometimes you might not know what it's trying to tell you, so that's why you might have to look up different translations, like me. But honestly, the Bible is just a really big life handbook. So for today's 2 Bible study methods, we are going to be taking a deeper look at Isaiah 43:18 through 19. Let's see what it says. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert and streams in the wasteland. So this first Bible study method is called verse mapping, and I honestly love it. When I first saw it on Pinterest, I was like, this is amazing and I have to do it. So we're going to go over the steps to verse mapping. First, you want to read it slowly and really digest what it's trying to say. You can also read it in multiple translations. So for me, I like the NIV version, but sometimes I have to take a deeper look into what a verse says. So for me, I looked up Isaiah 43:18 through 19 in the Message version as well. And this is what it says. Forget about what has happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert. Be present. I am about to do a new thing. Something brand new. It's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert and rivers in the Badlands. To me, reading something through another translation is really mind-blowing because sometimes it takes a verse that I don't even know what's happening, and it transforms it into something that is just like, oh my gosh, it really said that. So some of the translations that I like is ESV, Message, NIV, and sometimes the Amplified. I really do like the Amplified version. So the next thing for verse mapping is to map out some things that stand out to you on the verse. The first thing that you want to do is highlight what stands out and circle words to define. And then also make commentary too. So for me, some of the words that stood out to me, or some of the sentences, was whenever it said, do not dwell on the past. Also, be alert and be present. I think that's something, being present, that I've always kind of struggled in. I've always really thought ahead. And then now I feel like in this phase in my life, I'm really present and I don't really think ahead. Well, I think ahead, but I feel like I'm really happy where I am, and I'm just enjoying life and being present in the things that I have, and I'm kind of proud of myself for that. One word that I did want to define was perceive. So the definition of perceive is become aware, come to realization, look on something in a particular way, and to see or observe. And that really did put that word in that verse into perspective for me, and I feel like it made it make some more sense too as well. That's one really good reason why I do like verse mapping, is because you take some of the words and see the definitions for it, and I feel like it kind of helps you to understand the verse a little bit more. The next thing that you want to do is to summarize the verse. Now I feel like this part can be kind of tricky, but honestly it's a really fun part to me. So for my summary, I said, stop focusing on past mistakes or the past in general. God's hand is on your life, and He's performing miracles even now. God has a big blessing on the way. So don't focus on the past. It's gone. Focus on God. That was something that I feel like I need to tell myself a lot. And for me, I feel like it made me understand the verse more, and it just made me really put it into perspective, and it made me put it in Abby words. And for me, whenever I put stuff in Abby words, it just makes a lot more sense to me. So the next thing you want to do is to apply what you learned to your life. 2 things, well actually 3 things. What can you stop? What can you start? And what do you think? So for me, when it came to what can I start, my thing that I want to start doing is being present, which I already said I'm doing a lot better about being present, but I want to be more present in the time that I have now, the time that I have with my family, with my friends, and this time that I have to travel. I know for me in my single season, sometimes it can be a little bit hard, and yeah, so for me, I have to be present in that and really look at life in this season that I'm in, this season of singleness, as a blessing, and to realize there's so many things that I can do right now being single in my single season. One thing that I need to stop doing is dwelling on the past. And honestly, sometimes it happens when I'm in my bed and I'm asleep and I think about something that happened whenever I was in like high school, and I'm like, Abby, that was so not smart. But I need to stop dwelling on the past. God can use your mistakes to help you know things to maybe not do in the future, or to maybe help someone else not to do as well. So it's hard to look at mistakes as blessings, but sometimes I have to learn to not be so hard on myself, and mistakes are mistakes. They happen. It's life. You're gonna make mistakes sometimes, but the important thing is that you learn from it. The next thing is think. What I think about whenever I look at these verses is to think about the miracles that God has already done in my life, the everyday miracles. the smile I was able to put on somebody's face, thinking about, how God has made a way for me, even now, even today, with the job that I have, with just the many things that He's done in my life. Just thinking about the everyday miracles and the miracles that He's already done, how He's protected my family, how He has brought me this far, how, I've been able to go through college, and just everything that He's done for my life has been a miracle. The last thing for verse mapping is to pray. This one is a big one for me, and one that I need to be praying every day. The thing that I want to pray coming from this verse is for God to help me to be present in my current miracle. Sometimes whenever you look at your life and you look at what's going on and what could be, going in a better way, or just different things, I think it's hard to sometimes be thankful for the miracle that you are currently in. Being present in that current miracle is something that you need to do every day, and what I know that I need to do. I think it just makes me think about there's always something to be thankful for. So for me, I really want to pray and ask God to help me be present and thankful in my current miracle. And I hope that's something that you can always pray for too as well. The next Bible study is the 3 questions. Now, I have never heard of the 3 questions, and I took, this 3 questions, and I kind of tweaked it just a little bit. I'm not the creator of the 3 questions, but I kind of tweaked it to tailor it more to myself. Just a little bit, not a lot. The first question is, what does this passage say about God? I felt like this passage was saying there's always a bright future with God. As you can see, God is always doing something in your life. And sometimes you can't fully see it, but sometimes you need to really open your eyes to see what God is really going to do. Whenever you follow God and you trust Him with your life, there's always a bright future. And you may not really see it right now, but I promise there is always a bright future with God. The next question is, what does it mean? For this told me that I need to trust God. I need to trust that God has control over my life. And honestly, I need to stop being a control freak, because God has it under control. Sometimes I want to create my own miracle, but that's not for me to do. Because if I create my own miracle, it's not going to be a miracle. God is in control. And the only way that I feel like I'm going to be truly happy in my life is when God has control over my life. And having God in control is going to be a way better outcome than having me in control. So I need to trust God and know that my life is way better in His hands. The next question is how to live it. So for me, this one was kind of going back into the verse mapping, but for me it was being present in my current miracle, and just being present in life in general. I am going to leave a template below on verse mapping, and then also the 3 questions as well. I hope that you guys are able to take maybe 1 or 2 of these Bible study methods and try it out on your own, and really dig deeper into what God has told us, what God has laid out for us in this life handbook. Hopefully you guys are able to dig a little bit deeper, and hopefully you're able to understand the Bible, and hopefully the next time you read something, it won't just be crickets. You'll have ideas, and you will have summaries and commentary, and you'll look up the definitions to words, and you really will start to understand that this really is a handbook of life, and that you can really understand the Bible. You don't have to just read it and there be crickets. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that you guys will do some Bible studies on your own, and you will dig deep into what God is saying. See you next time.